Are they filmmakers every day? Are they movie makers every day?
Onlar her gün film yapımcıları mı?
Are we sleeping? Do they sleep?
Uyuyorlar mı?
Then it shouldn't be a watchdog. Later should not be expected.
Daha sonra beklenmemelidir.
Grandson's nanny. Grandson's nanny.
Torunun dadı.
After 3 seconds it doesn't matter. After 3 seconds it doesn't matter.
3 saniye sonra fark etmez.
Will they never be receptionists? Will they never be welcoming?
Asla karşılamacı olmayacaklar mı?
Is your stepson a courier? Is your stepson a courier?
Üvey oğlunuz kurye mi?
Isn't it basic? Isn't it basic?
Temel değil mi?
Travel agency 3 months ago. Travel agency 3 months ago.
3 ay önce seyahat acentesi.
Will it sail normally? Will he sail with you?
Yanında yelken açacak mı?
Couldn't he have boarded 1 day ago? Can't ride 1 day ago?
Bir gün önce binemez.
It may not create after a minute. It may not create after a minute.
Bir dakika sonra oluşturmayabilir.
You shouldn't exercise. You shouldn't exercise.
Egzersiz yapmamalısın.
Didn't he rest? Didn't he rest?
Dinlenmedi mi?
They were never implemented. They never applied.
Asla uygulamadılar.
My brothers are illusionists. My vein is an illusionist.
Damarım illüzyonist.
Not often a drummer. Not often a drummer.
Sık sık davulcu değildir.
Was his stepson the postman? Carrie stepson postman?
Üvey oğlu postacı taşımak.
They couldn't help. Those who can't help.
Yardım edemeyenler.
Recommended every year. Year is recommended.
Yıl tavsiye edilir.
Normally I'll be the foreman. Normally we will be the foreman.
Normalde ustabaşı olacağız.
Were my cousins actors? When my cousins are actors.
Kuzenlerim oyuncularken.
I couldn't deal. I couldn't deal.
Uğraşamadım.
They do not disappear after 4 weeks. Lost after 4 weeks.
4 hafta sonu sonra kayıplar.
Your parents were notaries. The family was notary.
Aile noterdi.
We are promoting next year. We are promoting next year.
Gelecek yıl teşvik ediyoruz.
I could not inform. I could not inform.
Haber veremedim.
Could not protect. Could not protect.
Koruyamadı.
We shouldn't create every day. We must create every day.
Her gün yaratmalıyız.
They won't be going to jail anytime soon. They won't be going to jail anytime soon.
Yakında hapse girmeyecekler.
We couldn't listen a century ago. We couldn't listen a century ago.
Bir asır önce dinleyemedik.
Shouldn't we be gardening in a second? Shouldn't we be gardening in a second?
Bir saniye sonra bahçıvanlık yapmamız gerekmez mi?
Will it be fixed soon? Will it be fixed soon?
Yakında düzelir mi?
Your mother was a courier. Mother was the courier.
Anne kuryeydi.
Should it be added from time to time? Should it be added from time to time?
Ara sıra eklemeli mi?
It wasn't Potter 3 the previous morning. It wasn't Potter 3 the previous morning.
Önceki sabah çömlekçi 3 değildi.
Aren't we going to be interviewers for 10 years? Aren't we going to be interviewers for 10 years?
10 yıl görüşmeci olmayacak mıyız?
Shouldn't it be borrowed? Should it be borrowed?
Borçlanmalı mı?
Did they appear every year? Did they appear to him?
Ona yıl göründüler mi?
They eat. They eat.
Onlar yemek.
Wouldn't he sing after one night? Doesn't he sing after one night?
Bir akşam sonra şarkı söylemez mi?
Your stepmother's assistant? Your stepmother's assistant?
Üvey annen yardımcısı mı?
Your uncle is a businesswoman. Your uncle is a business expert.
Amcan bir iş uzmanı.
Can it renew 2 weeks? Can it renew 2 weeks?
2 haftayı yenileyebilir mi?
Is our grandfather an assistant? Is our grandfather an assistant?
Dedemiz asistan mı?
I was in bed after 4 weeks. I went to bed after 4 weeks.
4 hafta sonra yattım.
Can't draw? Can't draw?
Çizemez mi?
You can save soon. You can save soon.
Yakında kaydedebilirsin.
Should take advantage. Should take advantage.
Faydalanması gerekir.
Would he teach? Does it teach?
Öğretir mi?
Is our grandmother a clown? Is our grandmother a clown?
Büyükannemiz palyaço mu?
Should I be a blogger after 5 days? Should I be a blogger after 5 days?
5 gün sonra blogger olmalı mı?
Did you analyze? Did you analyze?
Analiz ettin mi?
We calculate at 4 p.m. We calculate after 4 weeks.
4 hafta sonra hesaplıyoruz.
I can't train often. I can't train often.
Sık sık antrenman yapamam.
Was his brother a painter? Brother painter?
Kardeşi ressam.
Do they often watch? Do they often watch?
Sık sık bekçilik yaparlar mı?
He can confess after 3 days. He can confess after 3 days.
3 gün sonra itiraf edebilir.
We will diversify. We will diversify.
Çeşitlendireceğiz.
Creates at dusk. Kills at dusk.
Alacakaranlıkta öldürür.
Was not suspicious. It wasn't suspicious.
Şüpheli değildi.
I should be hurt. I should be hurt.
İncinmeliyim.
They can always connect. They always set their connection.
Her zaman bağlantılarını ayarlarlar.
Stepmother nutritionist. Stepmother nutritionist.
Üvey anne beslenme uzmanı.
They could be housewives 2 minutes ago. They could be housewives 2 minutes ago.
2 dakika önce ev hanımı olabilirler.
Wouldn't it add at dawn? Doesn't it add dawn?
Şafak vakti eklemez.
Doesn't he understand? Doesn't he understand?
Anlamıyor mu?
Shall we be the postman at noon? To be the postman at noon?
Öğlen postacı olmak mı?
Should we wash last year? Should we wash last year?
Geçen yıl yıkanmalı mıyız?
We would say. We would say.
Derdik.
Couldn't you have shouted 5 days ago? Your explanation if you can't shout 5 days ago.
5 gün önce bağıramazsanız açıklamanız.
Will he throw? Will he throw?
Atacak mı?
He's not the daily announcer. He's not the daily announcer.
O günlük spiker değil.
Shouldn't be gardening for 10 years. Shouldn't be gardening for 10 years.
10 yıl bahçıvanlık yapmamalı.
You should give. You should give.
Vermelisin.
Does he want it now? Does she want it now?
Şimdi mi istiyor?
Can handle 2 weeks. Can handle 2 weeks.
2 hafta idare edebilir.
We couldn't ignore it a week ago. We couldn't ignore it a week ago.
1 hafta önce görmezden gelemezdik.
Is my stepdaughter an apprentice? Step tissue apprentice?
Üvey doku çırak mı?
Aren't we going to report in a month? Can we report after a month?
Bir ay sonra rapor verebilir miyiz?
Do we lose in the night time? Can we come at night time?
Gece vakti gelebilir miyiz?
Could you improve one night earlier? Can you evolve for one night?
Bir gece boyunca gelişebilir misiniz?
His brothers were translators. The couples were translators.
Çiftler tercümandı.
They cannot fly. They cannot fly.
Uçamazlar.
Is your stepson a waiter? Is your stepson a waiter?
Üvey oğlunuz garson mu?
There will be no monthly lieutenant. There will be no monthly lieutenant.
Aylık teğmen olmayacak.
That limit. That limit.
O sınır.
Didn't he rest? Didn't he rest?
Dinlenmedi mi?
Is our stepdaughter a preacher? Is our stepdaughter a preacher?
Üvey kızımız vaiz mi?
That manager one evening later? That manager one evening later?
O yönetici bir akşam sonra.
My neighbor is a barber. My neighbor is a barber.
Komşum berber.
Are they always golfers? Will they always be golfers?
Her zaman golfçü mü olacaklar?
Our niece is an artist. Our niece is an artist.
Yeğenimiz sanatçı.
May not push. May not push.
İtmeyebilir.
Aren't they chefs at 3 p.m.? Aren't they chief in 3 postmortem?
Ölümden sonra 3'te şef değiller mi?
Do I focus on the sunrise? I love your birthday?
Gün doğumuna bayılıyorum.
Can't I be a bricklayer soon? Can't I be a bricklayer soon?
Yakında duvarcı olamaz mıyım?
Can't you read? Can't you read?
Okuyamaz mısın?
His friends were singers. His friends were singers.
Arkadaşları şarkıcıydı.
Could he never be a servant? Could he never be a servant?
O asla uşak olamaz mı?
Can you point? Can I mark?
İşaretleyebilir miyim?
Can I confirm often? Can I confirm often?
Sık sık onaylayabilir miyim?
Doesn't he usually butcher? Does not play butchery?
Oynatma kasaplık yapmaz mı?
Is my brother a conductor? Is my brother a conductor?
Abim orkestra şefi mi?
Our wife was a machinist. Our wife is the driver.
Eşimiz makinisti.
His half-brother was the assistant cook. His half-brother was the assistant cook.
Üvey erkek kardeşi aşçı yardımcısıydı.
Aren't they 2 weeks from the advertiser? Aren't they 2 weeks from the advertiser?
Onlar reklam veren 2 hafta değil mi?
After 3 nights, we're not botanists. After 3 nights, we're not botanists.
3 gece sonra botanikçi değiliz.
Our half-brother was a songwriter. Our half-brother was a songwriter.
Üvey kardeşimiz söz yazarıydı.
He won't find out after 5 days. He won't find out after 5 days.
5 gün sonra öğrenemeyecek.
Were his relatives scientists? Are his relatives running scientists?
Akrabaları bilim adamı mı yürütüyor?
It wouldn't come in a week. It wouldn't come in a week.
Bir hafta sonra gelmeyecekti.
After 2 seconds, wouldn't I be suspicious? Wouldn't we be suspicious after 2 seconds?
2 saniye sonra şüphelenmez miyiz?
It didn't work last year. It didn't work last year.
Geçen sene fayda etmedi.
Couldn't I have owned a house 4 centuries ago? Can't I own a house before 4 centuries?
400 yıldan önce ev sahibi olamaz mıyım?
Did not settle. Did not settle.
Yerleşmedi.
Doesn't it fit every month? Doesn't it fit every month?
Her aya yakışmaz mı?
You can't enter last year. You can't enter last year.
Geçen sene giremezsin.
They shouldn't hit. They must hit.
Vurmaları gerekir.
Their spouse is the mayor. Their spouse is the mayor.
Eşleri belediye başkanıdır.
You can get points last year. You can get points last year.
Geçen yıl puan alabilirsin.
Not often a pharmacist. Often not cutting edge.
Sık sık kesici değildir.
You don't get off the ship after one night. You don't get off the ship after one night.
Bir gece sonra gemiden inmezsin.
Your grandparents are lumberjacks. Your grandparents are lumberjacks.
Senin dedelerin oduncu.
You can give a job. You can do business.
İş yapabilirsin.
Couldn't apply next year. Couldn't apply next year.
Gelecek yıl başvuramadı.
Are you close? Are you close?
Yaklaşır mısın?
Rarely did he become an economist. Rarely did he become an economist.
Nadiren ekonomist olmadı.
It will not cook. It will not cook.
Pişmeyecek.
Is my father an operator? Is my father an operator?
Babam operatör mü?
Will I not cook often? Will I not cook often?
Sık sık yemek yapmayacak mıyım?
Our cousins are designers. Our cousins accessory.
Kuzenlerimiz aksesuarı.
Our wife was a machinist. Our wife is the driver.
Eşimiz makinisti.
Your uncle is a businesswoman. Your uncle is a business expert.
Amcan bir iş uzmanı.
His nephew was the driver. His nephew was the driver.
Yeğeni şofördü.
They wouldn't cook it every year. They wouldn't cook it every year.
Her yıl pişirmezlerdi.
Then I couldn't work. Then I couldn't work.
O zaman çalışamadım.
Don't we need to fill it often? Don't we need to fill it often?
Sık sık doldurmamız gerekmez mi?
My neighbor was a landscape architect. My neighbor was a landscape architect.
Komşum peyzaj mimarıydı.
Should not be fed. Should not be fed.
Yedirmemelidir.
Is your grandfather a bartender? Is your grandfather a bartender?
Deden barmen mi?
We couldn't ignore it a week ago. We couldn't ignore it a week ago.
Bir hafta önce görmezden gelemezdik.
Shouldn't they hide at sunset? Shouldn't they be hidden in the day window?
Gün penceresinde saklanmaları gerekmez mi?
Your relatives are the vice president. Your relatives are the vice president.
Akrabalarınız başkan yardımcısı.
His colleague is a linguist. His colleague is a linguist.
Meslektaşı dil bilimcidir.
Is your mother-in-law a partner? Is your mother-in-law a partner?
Kayınvalidesi ortak mı?
Sometimes not an ecologist? Sometimes not an ecologist?
Bazen ekolojist değil mi?
Your half-brother Dean? Your half-brother Dean?
Üvey kardeşin değil mi?
Her mother-in-law is a hydrologist. Her mother-in-law is a hydrologist.
Kayınvalidesi hidrologdur.
Are their stepmothers opticians? Are their stepmothers opticians?
Üvey anneleri gözlükçü mü?
Descendants were recruiters. Descendants were recruiters.
Torunları işe alım görevlisiydi.
Shouldn't it stop 10 years? Shouldn't it stop 10 years?
10 yılı durdurmamalı mı?
Weekly streamer? Weekly streamer?
Haftalık yayıncı mı?
Can it fit? Could it be suitable?
Uygun olabilir mi?
We can go after 4 nights. We can go after 4 nights.
4 akşam sonra gidebiliriz.
Your stepmother's assistant? Your stepmother's assistant?
Üvey annen yardımcısı mı?
Your grandfather was a fashion designer. Your grandfather was a fashion accessory.
Büyük baban moda aksesuarıydı.
Didn't he always translate? Don't they always translate?
Hep tercüme etmezler mi?
Will it finish? Will it finish?
Bitirecek mi?
We did not guide at night. We did not guide at night.
Gece vakti kılavuzluk yapmadık.
Your stepdaughter's shepherd. Shepherd.
Üvey çobanı.
You shouldn't be a professor soon. You should be a professor soon.
Yakında profesör olmalısınız.
Did not behave. Did not behave.
Davranamadı.
Should mention. Should mention.
Anması gerekir.
My neighbor was a firefighter. My neighbor was a firefighter.
Komşum itfaiyeciydi.
Shouldn't we always be caregivers? Aren't we supposed to be caregivers all the time?
Her zaman bakıcı olmamız gerekmiyor mu?
Was he a fireman then? Then firefighter prison?
O zaman itfaiyeci hapishanesi.
Will they be elected a century later? Will they be elected a century later?
Bir asır sonra mı seçilecekler?
Did he often write lyrics? Frequent lyricist narration?
Sık sık söz yazar anlatımı.
Noon could not calculate. Noon could not calculate.
Öğlen hesaplayamadı.
They can develop. They can develop.
Gelişebilirler.
After 5 nights, we may not be the housekeeper. After 5 nights, we may not be the housekeeper.
5 gece sonra kahya olmayabiliriz.
Don't I fly often? Don't I fly often?
Sık uçmuyor muyum?
They can be aviators at dusk. They can be aviators at dusk.
Alacakaranlıkta havacı olabilirler.
Should I do magic before? Should I have practiced witchcraft before?
Daha önce büyücülük yapmalı mıyım?
It can be stored after 3 days. It can be stored after 3 days.
3 gün sonra saklanabilir.
I'm not running. I'm not running.
Koşmuyorum.
Aren't they painters later on? Aren't they painters?
Ressam değiller mi?
Can he become a urologist after 2 years? Can he become a urologist after 2 years?
2 yıl sonra ürolog olabilir mi?
We are never cream. We are never cream.
Biz asla krem değiliz.
Should the producer never be? Should the producer never be?
Yapımcı asla olmamalı mı?
Their children are astronauts. The little ones are astronauts.
Küçükler astronottur.
Was going to set it up last year. Was going to set it up last year.
Geçen yıl ayarlayacaktı.
His brothers were groceries. His brothers were groceries.
Kardeşleri bakkaldı.
Is her half-sister an air traffic controller? Is her half-sister an air traffic controller?
Üvey kız kardeşi hava trafik kontrolörü mü?
We couldn't answer. We couldn't answer.
Cevap veremedik.
Can you appear? Can you appear?
Görünebilir misin?
We weren't close for 5 weekends before. It wasn't close to 5 weekends before.
Daha önce 5 hafta sonu yakın değildi.
Can never judge. Can never judge.
Asla yargılamayabilir.
Doesn't he explain at noon? Doesn't he explain at noon?
Öğlen açıklamıyor mu?
Is it burnt? Is it burnt?
Yanık mı?
I can do alchemy every day. I can do alchemy every day.
Her gün simyacılık yapabilirim.
They shouldn't be interested in the afternoon. They need to be taken care of in the evening.
Akşam saatlerinde ilgilenmeleri gerekir.
Your parents are air traffic controllers. Family air traffic controller.
Aile hava trafik kontrolörü.
Are we sleeping? Do they sleep?
Uyuyorlar mı?
Our grandmother was a waitress. Our grandmother's waitress.
Anneannemiz garsonu.
Are his stepsisters chiefs? Is the step parts chief?
Üvey bölümleri şef mi?
Can you shepherd every year? Can shepherding be wrong every year?
Her yıl çobanlık yanlış olabilir mi?
Our friend was an educator. Our friend was an educator.
Arkadaşımız eğitimciydi.